My opinions on compact keyboards are already pretty well established and how I'm pretty much a full-sized keyboard supremacist. Yet companies are still selling me more Tenkeyless designs to try and change my mind, like Razer with the Huntsman V3 Pro Tenkeyless 8kHz right here. And true, while there is also a full-size version available, it's going to be fun to see if something about this design is gonna make me change my mind. So let's start by opening it up and seeing what Razer have prepared for us. Knowing Razer, it's probably gonna be pretty minimalist packaging all around, and yeah, pretty much what I expected. And just like that, here is the star of the show. Extremely light. That's the very first thing I noticed about it. Very, very light. So it will make for a pretty good design if you just need a keyboard on the go, for example. Like if you're, I don't know, traveling, just put this in your bag. It's gonna fit because, well, it's smaller, but also it's not gonna weigh you down as much. Okay, what else do we have in the box? Ooh, okay, I was not expecting this. Obviously we have our regular kind of braided cable, but also we have ourselves a wrist rest. It's a pretty strange design though, because it's completely solid. It's not like a cushion like most other wrist rests. No, this is like a proper hard surface you can smack someone with if you wanted to, because you just lost 10 games in a row. Actually gonna come in helpful. I'm not sure how much of a fan I would be of this kind of design of a wrist rest, though I guess it does help justify the price, which we'll get to in a bit. Anyway, feet up, and as you can see, they have 2 levels of adjustment here. Wrist rest down, and we are ready to go. Overall, typing experience-wise, it's one of those analog optical keyboards, which means that you can adjust the actuation point. But when it comes to the overall feedback, again, these are fairly smooth switches, as you can expect, much similar in style to, say, your kind of Reds, your typical linear ones, than anything more tactile or clicky, just because of how optical analog switches actually work. So just the overall feeling of pressing down is decent enough, even if I'm still kind of more a fan of your very clicky keyboards instead. Though of course, when it comes to the experience of actually gaming or writing with this thing, then it gets a lot more interesting given the fact how well you're able to just adjust the actuation point. So it's not just about the feedback, not just about the sound, not just about the feel on your finger, but also about how far down you have to go to actually activate the key, which also affects how exactly it's going to feel to use this thing. So it can go all the way from 0.1 to 4 millimeters of actuation. And if you're anything like me, you know, that's all going to sound pretty cool, but also kind of terrifying. Like with all of the options for customization there, and it also then adds stuff like, you know, rapid trigger and snap taps and the other options you can toggle there in Razer Synapse, or Razer Synapse, as I recently done, I should be kind of calling it here in the UK. It can get very overwhelming, and I'm honestly very scared of using analog keyboards for that reason, because I never know if I'm using optimal settings or not, because I can't really tell what feels better for me. Though thankfully, Razer do have a solution. You can actually import pre-made profiles by people who can do it better than you. And Razer have already published their own profiles, a whopping 1 of them, for Marvel Rivals of all things. Granted, you can just get profiles from other average users, but here's the thing, I don't trust the average user. So I really wish there were more official profiles by Razer themselves. Though given how this is all a fairly new program, here's hoping that some more stuff is going to come in the near future. And if you had luck finding settings that work for you and feel nice for a specific task or for a specific game, do definitely let me know down in the comments below what settings worked for you. I'm very, very curious. Let's talk about some of the other stuff that this keyboard has going on, like the fact that all of the lights for things like caps lock or scroll lock have a move right here, just above the arrow keys. And then you have just 6 buttons right here. Stuff like print screen have been moved to the function keys, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Again, I know it's a restraint of the Tenkeyless design, and like one of the reasons I prefer full-size ones. And then you also have this right here, which looks like a volume dial, which I actually kind of really like the design of, because it kind of goes off the edge a bit, which I think looks pretty cool. But no, this is actually a multi-function dial that you can just use for whatever you want, as well as 2 buttons that, again, you can just set up to do whatever you like. And there are actually 3 of them on the full-size one, but you get just 2 here on the Tenkeyless. Now, sadly, it's not wireless, which is a real shame, again, especially for the price, which we'll get to a bit later. But of course, if you are a real pro gamer, which is kind of the main audience for this thing, then you probably wouldn't want anything wireless anyway, for that kind of tiny amount of latency that is just completely unnoticeable to the average Joe. You can also very much tell who this thing is targeting by the fact that they are so proudly talking about a 8K polling rate, because again, it's just one of those things that only a select few people who are crazy enough will actually notice. And if you are one of those people who can notice it, you need more hobbies. But before I throw too many stones in that glass house, I'm going to just quickly plug this in and see what the RGB looks like. Even the dial here has RGB. Now that is a nice touch. I very much do like how it looks all together. The brushed aluminum, again, it is a very polished design all around. You can also see the analog nature of this keyboard by just, pressing down and seeing this kind of LED array right here do its thing, so you can kind of use it to set exactly how much you want to press down the button to achieve certain results. Seriously, Razer, I have to restart my system to set up a keyboard nowadays? Are you out of your mind? But now for the thing I've been teasing you so much with, the price. Now it's Razer, you already know it's not going to be cheap, but did you expect this keyboard to cost you $220? Yes, you're paying that much for a keyboard that's literally not complete because it doesn't even have a numpad like every proper keyboard should. You can get it full size, but that's going to cost you $30 more. You can also get it in white for an additional $10 more, or you can get it in radioactive green. You can also get it in this special Nico variant, but I honestly couldn't even begin to describe what exactly it's going for or what it's supposed to really look like. Granted, at least some stuff like the wrist rest are there to try and justify the price, but again, you may not even end up liking this thing. It's a very weird design in just how, wow, hard it is compared to most other wrist rests, which are, soft and cushiony. So very much up for debate if that's going to be a positive or negative for you. This thing is really only for the pros, or if you're just after something nice and compact that you can take with you, you can just put in your bag and be off to the races. For everyone else, it's probably gonna be not worth it. For all of us plebeians who can't tell the difference between 1000 and 8000 hertz polling rates, none of this matters. Hey, at least it has the build quality and has the features to somewhat try and back up that price. But for the rest of us, it's probably not gonna be worth that price. But if it is worth it to you because it just has everything you need, great. Then our links to it will be down in the video description below. I'm not saying it's a bad keyboard by any means. It is very much trying its best to justify the price, but the price is still ridiculous for most people. But you know what has a great price? Our Patreon, because you get great perks for even just a $1 a month while you help support the channel. Plus huge thanks to Gavin Burns, Justin Ray, Jayla Vroniak, Balish Roka, Another Pseudonym, Meg Sumner, Shane Allcraft, and Mason Magruder. But anyway, that's what it's. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.